Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to today's video. Really hope you guys are having a great day. Today I want to dive into Jager versus Wamai. I think it's a really interesting topic and I think you guys will be pretty interested in it as well. Nothing too crazy. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, like this video if you enjoyed it. I'd really appreciate it if you guys share this with your friends as well. It means a whole bunch to me. I'm trying to get to 600 subscribers and then eventually even more, of course. I love making videos for you guys, so I'd appreciate if you guys want to support me. Don't want to take up too much of your time, so let's get into this video and let's discuss this topic. Alright, let's talk about Jager first. So some things I think Jager has an advantage over, or just some good things are about him. First of all, I think that having his ADSs all at the beginning of your rounds is really awesome, because then you know that you can dedicate that gadget, that utility, from the get-go, and you won't have to really worry about it after that. Speaking of which, all his ADSs stop 2 gadgets from attackers each, and so overall you're going to be able to stop 6 attacker gadgets, whether it be flashbangs, frag grenades, or similar things to that. Another very positive thing about him is that the AR, the Carbine I believe it's called, has practically no recoil, which is really awesome. And kind of leading on from that is that he's a very simple operator. There's nothing really complicated about him, so anyone can really play Jager and they'll be good. And that's really kind of what it comes down to for the pros. Considering cons, I think that he does have a good amount of utility that he can use up. Say you have, you got all your ADSs, so that's 3 things. If you choose barbed wire, that's another 2 things. So we're at 5 things that you got to place down. Not to mention, if you choose to reinforce walls, which luckily you don't have to anymore, although it's always nice if you choose to. There's more items depending on how many things you need to reinforce. And if I've learned anything from creating strategies for my esports team, it's that 5 to 6 things that a person needs to do in the prep phase will take up the whole prep phase. So even if you're just doing your ADSs and your barbed wire, your prep phase is pretty much gone from that. You can't go drone hunting, you can't do anything else. You pretty much gotta use up that time precisely spent for placing all of your gadgets if you have a set place where you need to place them at. And so that's the main things considering Jager that I can think about. Next up, let's talk about our guy Wamai. So there's a good amount of pros to Wamai, and I think that people overlook it. And so the first one I want to talk about is the deploy shield. Deploy shields are super powerful, and I think they're super underrated by everyday players. Now you can pretty much see through them. That's a huge plus. Not to mention, you can place it up above things, and it will block lines of sights depending on where you place them, which can be really helpful again depending on where you place them. And not only that, but deploy shields, in order to get rid of them, they got to use up utility. They got Ash charge, they got a Zofia charge, Kali charge, whatever it is. Moving on though, he does have 5 of his gadgets, 5 magnets. This is less than what Jager can overall take away from for attackers, but not only are you forced to save these ones, but you can place them wherever and you can redirect things to where they could possibly be used against attackers themselves. One great thing that I always like talking about concerning Wamai is if you get a really good Wamai placement and then a Nomad tries to place down an air jab, and then that Wamai disc, those magnets, capture that air jab and put it close to the player where they shot it from, they'll actually air jab that player, and that can be an interesting play. So getting smart with your placements can really be interesting and powerful as a Wamai player. From there, I really like the MP5K. I think that's the go-to weapon from Wamai, and that has a super fast fire rate, and I love fast fire rate weapons. Not to mention, the recoil on it isn't too bad. Speaking of weapons, he has a great secondary. I believe it's called the Karados, basically the same secondary that Alibi and Maestro have. It's really powerful, really useful, really easy to use. Not only that, the 1.5 scope is on the MP5K as well. I think that's an amazing sight. I've really been using it, and that's really awesome. Another thing about the magnets, the Wamai discs, is that it can stop things that Jager can't. So, for example, a gridlock canister, it can stop those, and you can actually shoot them mid-air, I believe. I'm sorry if I'm wrong about that, but as far as I remember, you can actually shoot gridlocks while they're by the disc before they drop and activate. So that's a really cool thing. Other than that, since he has individual magnets that you can toss around wherever, you can actually cover more area in a sense. You can cover 5 areas rather than Jaeger with his 3 ADSs, which can only cover 3 areas since there's only 3 ADSs. Let's move on to cons though. I couldn't think of too many cons, honestly. I think the main con is just that his utility takes time, as well as he's not as versatile. And what I mean by he's not as versatile is Jaeger can do his job really well. Wamai can do his job decently, and usually in Rainbow Six Siege when an operator is only decent, he's also going to be decent at other things. But in Wamai's case, he isn't necessarily decent. Just a little side note, I think that a really nice buff for Wamai would either be giving him super shorties so he could open up rotates, or even possibly giving impact nades. That's just an idea. I haven't really thought too much about it, but I just want to throw it out there for you guys. Alright, so lastly, which is better, Jager or Wamai? So this isn't as easy as a question as it always is thought out to be. In fact, I always hate answering these kind of questions, but I know that you guys like seeing it, so I'll try to answer it best as I can. So if you're looking for pure utility, as in you're trying to stop people from flashing you, you're trying to stop this or that considering utilities, go for Jager. Jager can currently stop more gadgets than Wamai can, and it's as simple as that for picking Jager, as well as he's a very simple operator. Wamai is very simple as well, but he is still slightly more advanced than Jager. With Jager, you can just place things down and not have to worry about them. But before you guys click away and say, oh, I'm going to buy Jager, I do want to throw out some things to think about for Wamai. I think that if you're trying to cover more area, if you want to have a deploy shield so that people won't have lines of sights on you, or if you're going to stop people who are playing the long run, say you're playing a little bit more competitively, people are constantly droning out, and they're constantly being slowed down by, say, Malusis, they're being slowed down by barbed wire, they're being spotted by proxy alarms, and so they don't act as aggressive. You know, if you're going against people who are very passive, basically, I think Wamai is a better choice for those 3 areas. So if you want to cover more area, you want to have a deploy shield, or you're going against people who take a long time, pick Wamai. Not to mention, I really like Wamai having the MP5K. The fast fire rate is amazing. I personally prefer it, and I think you guys should go give those out a try more. But yeah, that's pretty much the video that I have for you guys. Please subscribe, hit the like button, share with your friends. Don't want to waste you guys' time. I'll see you guys in the next one. Deuces.